Wait, but weren't drummers always the focus in the band? I mean, I was such a huge fan of the band before I joined the band. It was a pretty heavy learning curve. There's a million people like playing that drum intro on the internet every day, but I get to play it on stage with the band. We've been through so much shit separately and together that I can say now what I wouldn't have been able to say 20 years ago.
John, how are you?
Danny, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very, very good. Thank you. It is an absolute pleasure to be speaking to you today. I do have to
Oh,
start with this.
likewise.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to start with this because it made me laugh. You've talked before about not really being into the whole like 15-second drum clip culture online, and my entire job is kind of making short form online music content. So,
I didn't mean your, I didn't mean yours. I meant everyone else's.
no, thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it. No, I had to ask. So, what do you think the internet in this day and age kind of gets right about drummers, and what do you think maybe people still misunderstand?
That's a great question. Well, I think my favorite thing about music on the internet is finding things that I had no idea about. Um,
Yeah.
Mostly it's older things, but sometimes it happens with newer things too, where I get my mind blown by something I had no idea about that I wouldn't like, that wouldn't be, that wouldn't come up in like my circle of friends or even my like sort of sphere of like the music world. So I think it's to that end, I think it's still super valuable. And I find clips of like my favorite players throughout the ages and like clips that I never knew exist, shows I never knew got recorded and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a great resource for finding recordings of people you already know and love. I use it primarily for that.
Yeah.
But occasionally someone will send me something of like, a young kid or somebody who I didn't already know about that blows my mind. But so I think in a lot of ways it's still a lot like going to your friend's house and listening to records and going to the music store because you can sort of like, with the sort of algorithms that are at play now, it's sort of like you can find your category and then you can, it just starts to provide you with things you didn't know about.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, you're right. It's made kind of music discovery so easy these days, which is really cool. And that must be kind of a crazy concept to find footage of yourself and that you didn't know existed, and cool for other people to be able to see that as well. It feels like in this kind of era,
Yeah.
drummers seem to be having a real moment. Platforms like Drumeo have built this whole audience that is specifically obsessed with the part of the band that maybe oftentimes prior to that wouldn't usually get as much of a spotlight. When you were kind of growing up and entering the scene, was there anything close to that? Times are obviously evolving so quickly.
I mean, yeah, I think, wait, but weren't drummers always the focus in the band? I don't know. I was playing, but
I was
yeah, I
just gonna
think that's
say.
like, yeah, I think like when I first started playing drums, there were still like mom and pop music stores, and there
Yeah.
was still print media. So, I mean, we had, there were a couple drum magazines, Modern Drummer and like Rhythm. So, and I was like, I subscribed to, I like couldn't wait till they came in the mail. I'd like be waiting at the mailbox for the next one, because you didn't know who was going to be on the cover. And I would be able to stay, kind of connected to the evolution of the art form and the equipment and stuff like that. But then also it was like the mom and pop drum store, like before
Yeah.
Guitar Center and the big box stores, it was like a guy, it was like, Gordon Miller Music. It was just some guy or some
Mm.
gal who loved drums and made a drum, and then at that point it was like they would have like people come in and do clinics. And so I saw J.R. Robinson and Chester Thompson and Dennis Chambers and all these mind-blowing guys in person in small rooms with like 20 people, and so I mean, it's cool now that part, that corner of the internet where people are really focused on content and have like different angles, like that one where they play some music that the drummer hasn't heard before, and they,
Drumeo. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
It's
that's super
amazing.
cool. It's super cool. It's so awesome. What's cool about it is that people who like wouldn't normally care about drums and drumming are like, "Hey, dude, have you seen this thing?" Or they'll like send me a thing, and I'm like, "That's that's cool, man. I can't believe you're watching that."
Exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I support that. It's like it's to be like against that is like trying to stand in front of a tsunami. It's like that's what it is now. It's like that's where the majority of the like content or whatever you want to call it, of like the business of the music and people playing the music, that's where it lives. So I mean, I'm like an old dude, and I'm also an old I'm like kind of curmudgeonly and like an old sort of whatever old soul, as fucking as corny as that is to say about yourself, but like,
No.
so I kind of have like, I'm a little bit like, oh, whatever, I'll wait till I see him in person or whatever. But I do recognize that it's a beautiful thing, and it's super valuable. Like, if I had that resource when I was a kid, I'd probably be a lot better at playing drums than I am now, that's for sure.
I don't know. I would beg to differ. Well, I don't know if you could get any better personally, but but yeah, no,
No, it's
I
very kind of
agree.
you.
And you're right, nothing still does compare. The internet is amazing and it's so cool to be so connected, but nothing compares to being physically in a space with someone, and also obviously physically watching live music. So yeah, very excited that you were heading down our way as well to play New Zealand, 20th of December. Merry Christmas to us.
Yeah, me
um,
too. I can't wait. I love it there.
yeah, it's going to be epic. You're obviously no stranger to New Zealand shores. What makes a show special when you get here?
I mean, your country is just, it's wonderful on so many levels. Like, it starts with the physical beauty and the landscape of the place, the remoteness of it. I live on a little island now, and it's super remote and like a village. I think it just always feels like a village there, even in the big cities.
Yeah,
And like I said, the natural beauty there is magnificent. The ocean, the mountains, it's such a dynamic part of the world. And it couldn't be further from the fucking bullshit we have to deal with in the States right now. That's like the trickle down fucking festering sore that's happening in our country. So it just feels like a paradise to get to. And then the people are always wonderful. It's just like a whole different vibe there. It's like you've got the South Pacific thing with the traditional cultures, the Maoris, and all the other people. It's just like, man, it really is like a wonderful place. It's very inspiring for us because it just feels like the natural power of the place and the people isn't obscured by any fucking top-down bullshit. And it's not
yeah.
obscured by the physical sprawl and like development. It just feels wild and free and amazing. So
That's so great to hear. So you've joined Queens over a decade now. You've made your mark. You stepped into a pretty iconic lineage. The drummers before you who helped to shape the band, Joey Castillo, Dave Grohl. Looking back, how did you approach kind of honoring that history, but also letting the band evolve into something new and something that you could put your own spin on?
yeah, I mean, the lineage of drumming in the band is amazing. I think I'm number
Mm,
seven.
yeah.
It's like Fredo, Gene, there's just Dave, Joey. Yeah, and every drummer that's been in the band is as good as drummers get, and the
Yeah.
records that they made are as good as records get. I mean, I was such a huge fan of the band before I joined the band. It was a pretty heavy learning curve going from being like a fan who was like usually drunk or stoned when I was listening to the records to like, having to really like, know everything well enough to be able to count the band in, and to honor those, to go into playing those songs and honoring those old records and the power of all those drummers. It was really a big challenge. But now it's been, yeah, over a decade, and the band has been the same since I joined. So it's like I've been in this band longer than I've been in any other band
Yeah.
ever. Even though I'm the seventh drummer, this band has been together for 13 years. So, the first part was like kind of getting comfortable with all the old stuff, and then sort of kind of honoring the past while trying to create something new for the future, which was inevitable because I'm not any of those guys. So,
Mm, mm,
it's like that's the beauty of music, is everyone does it differently. So we
100%.
all have our own little idiosyncrasies. So like as soon as we started writing, it was inheriting the throne. And then since then, the process of us making records has been an evolution. Like we have another one in the can now, and we just keep getting better and better at playing together and knowing like what needs to happen for, recordings. And we're at the point now where we can, like, at first it had to be very sort of considered and like with a lot of focus and like attention. And
Yeah.
now we have the same amount of focus and attention, but there's instinct involved now because we have the synergy of this brew has been like has been brewing for percolating for a long time. So there's a new, it's not new, but they're alongside that, there's been this evolution of kind of like synergy that at this point is like, we can finish each other's sandwiches, you know.
Yeah, I love it. And that, I mean, that's kind of the foundation of an amazing band. I mean, it is kind of like a band of brothers, so to speak, right? And I think that that shows up in your music, and live as well. So I'm excited to see it again.
Well, at the end of the day, that's kind of the difference between the internet thing and the and a band is like, yeah, one is like, is a dazzling display. The other one, it's like there's no shortcuts for that, you know. It's like
Yeah.
you could get some session players together and make a great record, but if you have a band that has chemistry, it's like it's a whole different animal, you know. And
You're so right.
I appreciate and like respect both, but for me, like the thing of it is the latter, you know. It's like I need that, like I need to like be on like burning with the passion of connection and communication. I need it to be like very like I want to be all over each other, you know. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. I wanted to know, Song for the Dead's intro has become almost legendary in rock drumming. When you play it now, is it still a challenge every time, or is it muscle memory? Does it come easily?
It's well, I mean, I guess it's both. Like there's no easy Queen songs, you know.
No.
So it's always challenging. It's also muscle memory because I played it 7,000 times. But also it's like Dave played that. So, it's like when I do play it, like there's always a part of me that like I feel like this like sense of honor, and this sense of like I feel like I'm like, there's a million people like playing that drum intro on the internet every day, but I get to play it on stage with the band. So
Yes.
it's a feeling of like satisfaction and excitement, and also the sort of like tension of like, it's like I don't want to blow it, but it's like at this point it's second nature for me because I've played it so many times. It's like deep in my muscle memory. Like that's not to say I don't ever. I mean, I make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
Believe me, the dudes they make it clear that I did every time I do. But like I do it all the time. So I don't like. I'm not precious about it. I feel like if the vibe is right, it's like that's the most important thing. But yeah, that every time I play that, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, and it must be so cool to feed off the audience and just, I guess, hear it connect with everyone every single time and hear people, probably means different things to other people as well. That's the beauty of music in general, right?
I
So
mean, as soon as I start the hi-hat, everyone goes fucking bananas. It's like they already know. They know, so we play it last all the time because there just isn't really another there's no other closer. And I feel like people kind of know it's coming and like when like literally all it takes is like two steps on the hi-hat and everyone fucking goes berserk. Like the whole thing, it's like this shockwave goes out and the whole audience transforms.
amazing. That's what it's all
It's
about,
pretty
right?
magnificent. Yeah, it's like everything. It's like anything that's all I ever wanted.
I love it. I just wanted to ask John, kind of in reflection of everything we've just spoken about, does it ever get old touring with your brothers, playing the music you love?
No, I mean sometimes I want to kill them all, but like it never gets old because we're all old enough. We've been through so much shit separately and together that I can say now what I wouldn't have been able to say 20 years ago, which is that like I have like so much gratitude and appreciation to have the opportunity to do this. I mean, I feel like the last fucking dinosaur. It's like what we go do is like so special and it means so much to me that I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm exhausted or like wasted or fucking angry. It's like it's all beautiful. It all feels like bonus rounds to me at this point. And I know my bandmates would agree. And so no, it never gets old because, it's always a complete pleasure. It's always like a lottery winning situation to even just be there in the conversation. Number one. Number two, like we're old enough now, our friends are dying. It's like
Yeah.
we're all on borrowed time. It's like I'm just so it never feels old. It's hard, it gets hard, but and sometimes it gets boring and sometimes, it's confusing and sometimes I have no idea what the fuck's going on. but it never gets old because at this point, I'm just like so happy to be there, and to have that chance. The older I get, the more I feel like gratitude and above everything else, because there's a lot of fucking bullshit that is going down in this world that is inevitable that people have to deal with, that we all have to deal with. And this is not that, So I'm
Yeah.
always like 100% like, let's go.
Amazing. Amazing. Honestly, well, you're a master at your craft. I loved hearing that. Thank you so much for doing what you do as a fan on behalf of the fans. We really appreciate it. And I'm stoked to catch you back here in New Zealand.
Thank
December.
you so much. It's been great talking to you. I'll see you down there.
Will do.